5 years ago, picking proposal software was easy. You needed a place to store answers and a way to stop copy-pasting from old RFPs. That's not the market anymore. Today, you have long-standing RFP tools and platforms moving into AI. Industry-specific platforms are getting sharper, and there's a whole new wave of AI-native tools promising instant answers. They all sound similar, they are not solving the same problem. So why does this comparison exist? Before we get into specific tools, here's how we approach this. We didn't rank anything best to worst. That's the wrong question, because these platforms aren't built for the same buyer. Instead, we looked at fit. 12 dimensions. Things like Microsoft 365 support, how AI actually gets used, whether there's governance over content, and whether a platform is built for a specific industry or built for everyone. One thing we left out on purpose: pricing. It moves too fast to compare fairly in a guide like this. So here's the map. There are 4 distinct lanes. Enterprise pursuit platforms. They're built for teams managing full proposal, pitch, and RFP workflows. Sales proposal tools are built for quoting, e-signature, and buyer-facing sales docs. Different job entirely. Then there are industry-specific platforms, sharpened for legal or AEC firms specifically. And finally, AI-native RFP tools, the newest entrants built around speed. Knowing which lane you actually need narrows the field fast. Most of the wasted evaluation time comes from comparing tools across lanes that were never competing for the same job. When you dig in, what actually matters? A few things separate a real fit from a nice demo. Start with where the work goes after the first draft gets written. A lot of tools are great at generating an answer. Fewer, though, are built to turn that answer into something an executive would put their name on. Polished, branded, ready for a client. Then there's Microsoft 365. If your team already lives in Word and PowerPoint, the real question isn't, does it integrate? It's whether the output looks finished the moment it lands in those tools, or whether someone's reformatting it before it goes out the door. Governance matters more than people expect, especially once AI enters the picture. Speed doesn't help if the content it's pulling from is outdated or was never approved to begin with. And for relationship-driven industries, legal, AEC, professional services, generic proposal language doesn't cut it. Bios, matter history, project experience, credentials, that's the content that actually wins the work, and not every platform is built to handle it well. Quick takes across the field. Here's a fast pass across what's out there. Tools like Responsive and Loopio are strong if your job stops at answering RFP questions accurately and fast, at volume. Qvidian and Templafy serve a different need. Established enterprise content governance, especially across departments beyond just proposals. If you're doing straightforward sales proposals with quoting and e-signature, Qwilr, PandaDoc, and Proposify are built exactly for that, but they're not built for multi-contributor RFP responses or governed pitch decks. Industry-specific platforms like Ikaun for legal and Kantiv for AEC are worth a look if your biggest gap is surfacing past project or matter history. Though many teams find they still need something broader to turn that knowledge into a finished, client-ready document. And the AI-native tools. Fast, lightweight, good for a first pass on structured questionnaires. The trade-off shows up when the stakes go up. A 400-question RFP or a law firm panel pitch needs more structure than most of these tools currently offer. So how do you actually decide? If you're narrowing your own shortlist, 3 questions cut through the noise fastest. First, are you mainly answering RFP questions or building the full range of proposals, pitches, and presentations? Next, does your team actually live inside Microsoft 365 day to day? And finally, do your proposals need to make a business case and not just describe what you do? However you answer those, that's your real shortlist. So where does QorusDocs fit? 3 things tend to separate QorusDocs from most of what's on this list. It's purpose-built for how legal, AEC, and professional services teams actually pursue and win work, not generic sales tooling stretched to cover complex proposals. The output lands finished in Word and PowerPoint, on-brand, formatted, ready to send, not exported somewhere else and cleaned up after. And proposals connect to value. Teams can build an ROI-backed business case right alongside the pursuit document, bringing the why buy conversation as close as possible to the why us pitch. None of that matters much without customers backing it up. In the most recent Software Reviews Buyer Experience Report, QorusDocs customers reported the platform is critical to their success, and the overwhelming majority plan to renew, with a net emotional footprint score well ahead of category norms. There's a lot more detail in the full guide: the complete platform breakdown, a fuller comparison table, and a section that answers the best for law firms, best for AEC, best for Microsoft 365 questions directly. Links below. Or if you'd rather see it against your actual shortlist, a 30-minute walkthrough tailored to your workflow will get you there faster than reading anything.